Look, let me describe a situation, and if this hits a little too close to home, don't click away. You wake up early. You work hard. You try to stay disciplined. And yet somehow, every few months, you look around and realize you're in the exact same place. Same habits, same problems, same level of progress. Meanwhile, someone else, someone who doesn't even seem to be working that much harder, is suddenly ahead. Better job, better health, clearer mind, more confidence. And you're sitting there thinking, what am I missing? Because here's the frustrating part. It's not that you're lazy. It's not that you don't care. And it's definitely not that you're incapable. So why does it feel like some people just win? Here's the thing. The difference isn't motivation, talent, or luck. It's mindset rules. And most people are unknowingly playing the game with losing rules. If you're someone who feels like you're doing everything right, but still not seeing results, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. And look, this isn't going to be one of those believe in yourself talks. We're going to break down 3 mindset rules that actually separate winners from everyone else, backed by psychology, neuroscience, and real-world behavior. Before we talk about winners, we need to talk about why most people lose. Here's what most people don't realize. Failure is rarely caused by one big mistake. It's caused by tiny mindset rules running in the background every day. According to research in behavioral psychology, over 90% of daily decisions are habitual, not conscious. That means most people aren't choosing how they live. They're defaulting. And if your default mindset is wrong, your results will be wrong, no matter how hard you try. This is where it gets really interesting. Winners don't rely on motivation. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on rules. Let's break them down. Mindset rule number 1. Winners play the long game. Losers chase feelings. Let's be honest. Most people live their lives based on how they feel today. If they feel motivated, they act. If they feel tired, they quit. If something feels uncomfortable, they avoid it. That's the rule they're living by. If it doesn't feel good now, it's probably wrong. And that rule destroys people. Relatable example. Think about fitness. You start working out. The first week feels great. The second week hurts. The third week feels boring. Most people stop right there. Not because the plan doesn't work, but because the dopamine stopped. Neuroscience shows that dopamine spikes before rewards, not after. When the novelty disappears, so does motivation. Winners understand this. What winners do differently? Here's what most people don't realize. Winners expect motivation to disappear. They plan for boredom. They assume resistance will show up. They don't interpret discomfort as a sign to stop. They operate by a different rule. Short-term discomfort is the price of long-term clarity. Think of it like farming. You don't plant seeds and dig them up every week to check if they're growing. You water them consistently, even when nothing seems to be happening. Psychology behind it. Delayed gratification is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success. The famous Stanford Marshmallow study showed that kids who could delay pleasure had better health, income, and emotional control decades later. But here's the twist most people miss. Those kids didn't have more willpower. They had better rules. Practical shift. Apply today. Here's a simple mindset shift. If, then rule number 1. Backhand index pointing right. If something feels boring, slow, or uncomfortable, then I'm probably doing it right. Start attaching pride to consistency, not intensity. Winners don't ask, do I feel like it? They ask, did I keep the promise? Mindset rule number 2. Winners build identity. Losers chase results. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Abel, but I need results to stay motivated. That's exactly the trap. Here's the thing. Most people try to change outcomes without changing identity. They say, I want to wake up earlier. I want to be focused. I want to be disciplined. But their internal identity is still, I'm not a morning person. I struggle with focus. I've always been inconsistent. And the brain will always protect identity over goals. Eye-opening stat. According to habit research by James Clear and others, behavior change is 3x more likely to stick when it's identity-based rather than outcome-based. That means saying, I am someone who trains daily, is far more powerful than, I want to lose 10 kilograms. Relatable example. Think about someone who says, I'm trying to quit junk food, versus, I don't eat junk food. Same action, different identity. One feels like sacrifice, the other feels like alignment. What winners do differently? Here's what most people don't realize. Winners don't wait for results to feel like winners. They act like the person they're becoming before the evidence shows up. This is where it gets really interesting. Your brain uses past behavior to predict future behavior. So every small action is a vote for your identity. Analogy. Think of identity like software. You can't run new programs on old operating systems. You can't expect disciplined behavior from an undisciplined identity. Practical shift, apply today. If-then rule number 2. Backhand index pointing right. If I'm about to skip a habit, then I ask, what would the disciplined version of me do? Start using identity language. I'm the type of person who. That's not who I am anymore. Winners don't chase motivation, they protect identity. Mindset rule number 3. Winners take full responsibility. Losers negotiate with reality. This is the uncomfortable one. And look, I'm saying this with respect, but also honesty. Most people negotiate with reality. They say things like, I'll start when things calm down. Once I have more time. After this stressful period. But life doesn't calm down. Ever. Psychological truth. Studies on locus of control show that people who believe they control outcomes, even imperfectly, perform better across career, health, and mental resilience. Not because life is fair, but because responsibility creates agency. Relatable example. Think about two people with the same problem. One says, this ruined my routine. The other says, okay, what's the adjustment? Same obstacle, different rule. What winners do differently? Here's what most people don't realize. Winners don't ask, is this fair? They ask, what's my move? They eliminate excuses without self-hate. They don't shame themselves, they correct course. Analogy. Think of navigation. If you miss a turn, the GPS doesn't scream at you. It recalculates. That's what responsibility looks like. Practical shift, apply today. If-then rule number 3. Backhand index pointing right. If something disrupts my plan, then I immediately design the smallest recovery action. Not restarting perfectly, just resuming quickly. Momentum beats perfection. Why these 3 rules change everything? Let's connect the dots. Rule 1 controls time horizon. Rule 2 controls identity. Rule 3 controls execution under pressure. Together, they remove the 3 biggest killers of progress. Emotional decision-making, inconsistent identity, excuse-based thinking. This is why winners look calm. They're not fighting themselves every day. Not theory, not hype. Rules you can apply today. Look, winners aren't special. They're not smarter. They're not luckier. They're not more confident. They just stopped letting feelings run their life. They replaced emotions with rules. Upgrade the rules, and you upgrade your life.